So, welcome back. In this video, we will look at some of our normal stocks. We will look if Blink is going up now, if Webull found its bottom, if Trump Media now squeezes to the upside, if NIO already found its bottom, if Plug is squeezing with the memes, if UNITYSOFTWARE is now really going down, and a little update on FCEL. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using this method here, the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method. There you get the explanation step by step. Okay, let's start with BLNK. So for BLNK, I have a bullish and a bearish version. For the bullish version means we are already in the third fractal. So from IPO till March 2020 was our first fractal, from March 2020 till January 5th was our second fractal, and now we would be in the third fractal. For the bearish fractal, would mean the second one is not finished yet. I start with this because it's the shortest one. Our latest peak in October 6 was just our T, and we still have to drop to 40 to 30 cents. But we will look at this right now. For the bullish version, if the second fractal is finished, we are looking at something like this move. Yeah, our next target would be for A around $4, and then for B around $40 to $26. And then the most important point is we have to break $65. If we're not breaking over this line, we will reject under it and this stock will die. Just saying. Okay, then let's look at this section here closer. So first, we start with the bearish version. You see your T started on April 2025. Technically, it finished in a lower low on December 30th at 63 cents. And the thing is, technically this is lower and could be finished. But as example, we just look for this T here. This little T started here, and technically it was finished here. But as always, normally you're not just going 1 cent under where it started, you really drop normally. So in that case, this here was just a little bounce, and now you will knife down to 40, 30 cents. Okay, so much for the bearish version. For the bullish version, because technically it's finished, is this your absolute lowest point? You bounced on it. My time frame was January 9th to January 20, which is next week, Tuesday. And here we only have two ways. First, we just go up. Yeah? We break out of this trend line. Our next target would be $1.44. Then maybe break a retest up to be $1.97. Bounce, pull back, and then even go higher. But as if you are a viewer of mine, you will know I always want a higher low. So in that case, I think this was just the peak of our higher low, our micro higher low, and that would mean next week we make our V&A. So our V&A is down here at 71 cents. Yeah. Or if you just take the 786 FIB in this range here, Here you should bounce, and then you go up. Yeah. And to say that, this would be just a micro higher low, because you see this big fractal. So I would imagine you still have to do this big higher low, yeah, and then you go. Just saying. To what I compare this to? Well, I compare this to here, to March 2020. Here you have also here at the trend line. You dropped. You made a lower low to this one. That's what I mean. This was not even back then. It was only one side. It was a little deeper. Then you made a micro higher low, a big higher low, and then you go. Yeah. So I would imagine we are doing this here right now. Then we get the big higher low, and then we can go. Yeah. It's just interesting. It looks good that we may be at the low. I wouldn't say, no financial advice, I wouldn't say it's a good options play right now. In the best case, it's a good share play right now. For levers, if you break 143, then I think the alternative to the absolute bearish downside is gone. If you break under 75 cents, clearly, you still have the chance to do the V&A. Perfect. And of course, if you break 63 cents, you will go down to 40 to 30 cents. Yeah. Let's see. Next one is DJT. So for DJT, I really have to say I have no absolutely bearish alternative anymore. I just don't. It just looks too good. For DJT, it's just one fractal, which ended on November 17. We have our perfect C, massive lower high, massive M, massive T, down to our V. Only thing is, and here also, we never squeeze from the low. I think for all my regular viewers, you will now see we have not one instance where a stock squeezed from the V. It was always a high low. Yeah? So we already did here a little tiny higher low. Yeah? But also to say that this little tiny higher low is the higher low for this massive T, M, and L. I'm still going for it that we now need a macro higher low, and then we can go up. After we did that, our next target is 60 to 50 for our A. Then breakout retest, 0.5 pullback to our B, around 90 to 70. And then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? Okay, well, then let's look at what we are doing right now. So here was our V in November 21st. We made a micro higher low, a perfect V&A. We added even a little small micro higher low, and this also ended in a V&A. And in the moment it was finished, we got merchant news and we shoot up. We came near our T, because this was our T. So I track this as our A with the A pullback. We just take from our low to our peak. It was you could say it's a 0.5. I would more lean to it was a 618 bounce. Perfect. And since then we bounced and did a little bit sideways. Two versions here. First, this is finished and we go. Second, this is again a little tiny higher low to our A, as we always doing in the past. That means you still have a chance that you have to go here to, what is that, $12.97. This would finish this tiny higher low and then we go up. All in all, what would be the next move? Well, we tracking now our macro, our big high-low. That means our next target is B, around $30, then a little pullback, then up to our C. In that case, I don't think we break this trend line. This would be the peak of our high-low. And then we go down, lower high, midpoint T, V under A. I'm not saying it takes that long. I'm just draw it that big so you can see the landmarks. So yeah, lower high, midpoint T. You can also play this already, because I mean a move from 13 to 35-ish dollars is a move. For me, it really gets personally extremely interested if we come back to this V under A. Because in the moment we did this, we might add again a little micro high-low, but after that, we get our big move to our big A, big B. All in all, this looks fucking great. Time-wise, we have to see. Yeah, it could easily be we're just doing now this and this. Yeah, just tracking landmarks. And then we can maybe see how long this could take. Next one is NIO. So for NIO, I really have to say, I don't really have an alternative anymore. Not a really bearish one. Yeah. For NIO, from IPO till October 2019 was just our A. From 2019 till April 2025 was just our big B. And for the bullish and bearish alternative, which is just for micro tracking, we are already in our C. So our next move overall should break our all-time highs because C is higher than B. So we have to go over $66. Okay, so let's zoom in what we're doing right now. So here's our V in April. We did a perfect higher low again. In the moment we finished the higher low, we broke out of this multi-year trend line. We came near our T point, which is our A peak, and we pulled back. So here we have two versions. First of all, I have to say, especially in this stock, I got so many messages, something in this space here, especially from the Asian space. I should track this more bullish because then I get more views. Again, I have to say, if I don't have a bullish tracking, I'm not saying it's bullish just to become more views. When I am confident that this, for example, is an A landmark, I want to see my 0.5 pullback. Yeah? I am not saying anything to get more views. Yeah? You will always get an absolutely truly thought from me, bullish or bearish, and in the best case, you will always get an alternative and the main tracking. For this, because this is A, you had the chance to bounce at the 0.5. So here in that case, there was a chance that we could bounce, but the main tracking was still, we need our V under A at 438 or at what is that, the 0.618. Yeah? So what is true now? For me, clearly, my time frame was January 9th to January 21st, which is next week. I still want to see my V under A, and I want to see that next week. I mean, that's only what? That's 7%. It's easily doable, especially with this bearish news with Trump tariffs and now on and on and on. But to say this, we have here our A, our C peak, lower high, midpoint T, and technically this T is finished because it's lower where it started. So for levels, if we go up from here, everything over 580 is bullish. Everything over 627 and there is no bearish alternative anymore, and we go up. If we break 455, I tell you, we will do our V&A. 40, 30, what is this? 437 to $4 to just make a perfect breakout retest. Next move after that is the run to our middle B, which is $16. Just saying. To what I'm compare this to, I like to compare this here to 2019 to 2020. Also here we did a V, a little higher low, a breakout out of the trend line, which is our A, with an head and shoulders, and a V&A here. Then we did a small higher low, and the next move after that, what we expect, is this massive move. Yeah. And as already said, we have to go over $67. It looks perfect. So next one is FCEL. So for FCEL, similar to NIO, I don't have a bearish alternative. I mean bearish alternative where we really, I just don't have one right now. For FCEL, also interesting, in my opinion, we have the luxury that we already see how our big macro B is looking like. Yeah. But all in all, here's our C, lower high, midpoint. For the tracking, if we are taking rules one by one, this line is our line for our next B. But as I'm already saying all the time in the last videos, you won't see a share at $20,000. That's very unlikely. Tracking wise, you can still come up here. But if we go up there, this company will do a forward split. Just saying. Then you fall down, make a massive T, which would be again our next A. I think there's a very good possibility, this A is at 880, that we can get there. But this line is then our rejection line. Without a split, we won't come over this. We would reject here and die. But I mean, who is interested in that then anymore? Okay. How the next move could look like before we go into micro tracking, the next move could look like this. Yeah. This is just our micro B, and that's why I'm saying this is very interesting, because in my opinion, our next move, this would be our B. Also, the B peak would be at the end of it. Just saying, no financial advice, my plan is selling into this move because I don't interested in holding through this shit. And because back then, if this is really this took you, what, 7 years? The fractal in the repetition gets bigger and bigger, so this could easily take 14 years. I'm not interested in holding this that long. Okay, then let's look at the micro tracking. So this here is our absolute low in May 2025. We did a perfect higher low under the trend line, which ended on August 2020. August 20, 2025, sorry. Also perfect in the V&A. We added a little higher micro higher low, as we always doing, which also ended in a V&A. And in the moment it was finished, we shoot up, went over the trend line, near our T line. This was our perfect A. And then we pulled back, as A normally does. It was a breakout retest. It was a V&A. And it was, what was it? A 0.618. And we bounced on it. After that, in my opinion, this here is just a micro high low again to our A. Also interesting, this candle here was after hours. It instantly knifed down to the V&A and instantly bounced. Yeah, so also this micro high low is finished. And with this candle here, I got on last Friday, I got really a little bit bullish. I went into a position. Yeah, because I could easily see we are going now. Also, I have to say, FCEL the chart is a perfect example. If the fractal is easily seen one-to-one to the rules, it's absolutely nice and easy to track. So what could happen next? If we are completely finished with this, our next move is somewhere from 168 to $50. Yeah. Why? Well, it would be this move here. It would be this move. From where do I got this? Well, I got this from here. From 2019. You see that also perfectly here. We did our V. We did a perfect higher low. We broke after the higher low over the trend line. We made our A. We made the pullback. We jumped up again. This would be this little micro higher low we're doing right now. And if you look, you have here this sideways shit. So confirmation that we are right here right now would be a gap up. A gap up, then we get a move to our 165 to $50 move. And this move should be quick. The only alternative I have for this would be that we are right now here. Not here, here. Yeah. That means our next move, most likely, I mean for sure, isn't going up here. Our next move would be around $25-ish. Then you would pull back. And the next move after that, but would go even higher. Yeah. Because if you compare this, if you would still here, the next move, this would be even higher. Yeah. Ah, 4 levels. Nearly forgot that. So, 4 levels. Everything over 1090, bullish. Everything over 1247, mega bullish. For the downside, if this micro higher low, if this is a micro higher low, isn't finished, you still have a chance to go to 675, but I just don't see it yet. Yeah. If you break under 572 again, I have to look at the whole thing again, because then something is wrong. But I just don't see it yet. Next one is bull. So for transparency, bull is one of the very few stocks I was really wrong. Because back then I tracked it, I think from June 2025. I tracked it also with symmetry. What does that mean? That means back then I tracked it, we were here, that we are just doing a symmetry play, where we just take the past pattern, flip it, and we repeating the past. In that case, you really have to say, this is absolutely matching till this point. At this point, it wasn't working anymore. Yeah. So in that case, it's just one fractal. Yeah. And for the bullish version, that would mean this fractal is finished with November 21st. We added a higher low, which ended in the bullish tracking with December 31st. The only alternative, before we start with the bullish one, would be, this is not finished. We are breaking under our low at 70.57 and make new lows. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just have no landmarks here anymore, so maybe. If this happens, our next V should be at February 4. So wherever we go, then we're doing a higher low till February 17, and then we get the next move. Yeah. For the bullish tracking, that only means this higher low is finished. This when we finish the second higher low, our next target should be 18 for our A, then maybe a 0.5 pullback, and then up to our B at 33. And then it's only the question, are you breaking all-time highs or not? So is this little higher low already finished? I could easily see that this micro higher low is not finished yet, and you still have to come down to 789. You bounce there and you go. Yeah, I mean, that is 3%. I think that is doable. 4 levels. Everything over 8.91 is bullish. Everything over 10.35, and I think there is no alternative to the downside anymore. As I said, if this little higher low isn't finished, you still have to go down to 790 for your V and A. And if you break 7.69 you will make new lows. And I can't tell you where this lows is because down here is nothing. Yeah. But all in all, the stock is getting interesting. Especially we are looking at the repetition of this. I mean, I don't think we will do this because the repetition of the fractal is getting bigger and smaller, but it should still be quite vertical. And I bet with you the next news will be a China deal with Trump. And because it's a Chinese broker, and then you just shoot up. It looks interesting. Okay, next one is plug. So for plug, I have a bullish and a bearish alternative. We start with the bearish one just because it's quicker. For the bearish one, this is fractal number 1 till February 2013. And since February 2013, we made a higher low. For the bearish version, this higher low is not finished. And our last peak in September 2025 was just our T. In that case, you really have to knife down, and your target is 43 cents to 12 cents. Not seeing that yet, but as an alternative. For the bullish tracking, our higher low started again March 2013, ended in May 2025, and we are already in the run to our big A. And our target for our big A is something over 73 cents at dollars. Yeah, because we have to go over the higher low. Okay, then let's look zoomed in at the higher low. So here's the zoomed in version. Here I also have to say I have two versions for this. Yeah. First of all, here's our B in May 2025. And you already see it if you're a follower of mine. We don't really have a higher low here. Yeah. So for the version I'm more tending to means that this whole thing is higher low. Yeah. We are under the big trend line. We didn't made already a higher low. So I think this is still a higher low. My time frame was from December 26 to February 5. In that case, our last peak here on January 6 was just our T. And to finish this higher low, we have to come down to $1.03 just to finish the V under A. I know this is 56%. Maybe we get dilution news. I don't know. But I'm more tending to see this. It would be really a sharp move, I agree. For the bullish alternative, this was your micro higher low. It's fucking small, so I don't like it, but okay. For the bullish alternative, this whole thing is A. This A was finished on November 18. It was a 0.5 pullback, and a bounce. Then we added, again, as always, a little micro high low, which ended in a V&A. And then we broke out. So here, if you just go upside, perfect. If not, you would still have the chance that this is a tiny micro high low again. And you still have to come down here to $2.04, the 786 fib retracement, and then you go. Yeah. But you really have to stay over $1.91. Yeah. Target for the next move, if we go up, is $31 for our V. Yeah. Then 0.5 pullback and then up. For levels, well, for levels, I would say everything over $2.50 is bullish. Everything over $3, and my bearish alternatives are that, the big one and the small one. If you go down here, as I said, you still have the chance to bounce at $2 for your V&A. If you break under $1.61, you will do the 0.5 pullback at the V&A at $1.03. If you break even lower, and if you break 86 cents, you will do the absolute bearish alt where you go to 40 to 30 cents. Yeah, not seeing that yet, but for the levels. Okay, last one is UNITYSOFTWARE. So for UNITYSOFTWARE, I have to say, I only started tracking this thing because months ago, some content creator started with, because GME will squeeze and gaming company, and because UNITYSOFTWARE is an engine in a company, UNITYSOFTWARE will go up to. That was the reason why I started tracking this. And it's a quite nice fractal, really. We have our C, lower high, midpoint T. So our next P is around $109. Our T, we already did, in my opinion, at $50. Then we did our V in August 2024. Here, again, perfect example. We didn't squeeze from the bottom. We made a perfect high low with a V&A. In the moment we finished this, we went up to our T line, which is our A. So what are we doing now? For me, this is still our A, our C top. And what happens after we get our A top? We get our 0.5 or 618 for the A pullback. So my target is still $25 to $21. Just for transparency, I said weeks ago, this was my A, we fall back and broke it. So yeah, this was wrong, but I'm still thinking this is our A peak. For the micro tracking, this right now could really be already our lower high. The lower high would be already finished because it started here, but our next moves would look something like that. Yeah, down up to our M, down up to our T, and then to the 0.5 or to the 618. Bounce here, making a tiny micro high low, and then we go up. Yeah. No financial advice. I'm not interested to play this short because this company could really take some time. But what I'm interested is in playing this bounce. Because even if you're not playing contracts, just shares, from 26 to 109 looks promising, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. I think, how long? Half an hour. Not that bad. As always, if you liked it, leave a like. Explanation video comes here. Playlist with the normal stocks here. And if you want to see more, leave an abo. Let's see what happens next week. See ya.